Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Thursday, September 11th, 2014. Today I am beginning with a video a friend referred me to from David Wilcock. This is not brand new. It's from July 19th. But it has a lot of information about Admiralty law. And if you don't already understand Admiralty law, this is probably a reasonably good way to learn about Admiralty law. And we keep hearing that with the restoration of the Republic, Admiralty law will go away. And if you're not sure that it should, you can listen to this and figure it out. And speaking of what people have been saying, how the Republic will be restored, so on and so forth, one of the voices out there that continually predicts change in the near future is this person who goes by Poofness Zap. I think I mentioned these posts the other day, and there's always this statement that the change is imminent, it's right on the horizon. You know, it may be. I can't rule that out. This post is on the rumormillnews.com, and I would like to think that it's true. The official redemption time for the historic bonds is not here yet, but expected shortly, and sovereigns again are actively picking the best files to do. The official time is not long in coming. Again, it makes no difference if it is tomorrow or after the 15th. It will happen. The PPP deliveries and program payments will get going as soon as the TRN is made public, I was informed, and full-blown project fundings will begin in the second half of September and October. This information goes along with the video that I've mentioned a few times, Changes on the Horizon. This is the change predicted by that video. And really, this is a prediction, although people say that the person who writes these posts is fairly well connected. So we can hope that this is on the horizon, and NeoKanan is one of the people who has been working with the historic bonds, and it's all just interesting information. Is it 100% true? I really don't know. Do I 100% believe it? I want to believe it. I would guess I maybe 85% believe it. It's not hard to believe that there would be good people working behind the scenes to bring about positive change. The problem really is that aggressive, passionate people often have personal desires, things that they want. And when evil people determine what those things are that crusaders want, they try to buy off the crusaders. So what happens is, if there aren't crusaders who are more passionate about justice than they are about their own well-being, or more passionate about pleasing God, pleasing Creator, than they are about satisfying themselves, these changes can't occur, or at the very least they will be delayed. So hopefully all of us can, there's a saying that everybody has their selling point, or everybody has their price. We can't have a price. if we want to see justice and a brighter future for our children and grandchildren. There are some specifics here that NeoKanan is accusing evidently some blogger as being linked with General Electric. Quite honestly, I haven't heard of this person GrandeLanger before. So just out of curiosity, I looked it up. And here's some information. These little spats go back and forth between people. Sometimes NeoKanan has made some accusations against people. I know he doesn't get along with Karen Hudes, and I believe that what he has determined about Karen Hudes is pretty accurate. So I tend to believe his opinions, agree with his opinions in many respects. But it's really so crucial for us all to continue to filter everything for ourselves and not just find sources and trust them. If we do that, it's pretty much the same thing as our parents believing Walter Cronkite, no matter what he said. We can't afford to believe everything anybody says except God, and that should be taken, firsthand, not somebody said, God said. Because there is just a lot of deception in the world. People with the best of intentions can be deceived. And again, we need to, I believe, we all need to sort through these things for ourselves. This is an example of that I just came across. I've been getting emails from these people for a while. To be honest, I don't typically read their emails, but I save them because they might be a good reference at some point. Organic Consumers Association. I did happen to read one of their emails this morning, and they very much believe in human activity, global warming. They were advocating, it's not this article, but they were advocating a march that is about climate change based on the activity of people. And there are a lot of people who get drawn into this, who otherwise might be freedom fighters, liberty people, but they do believe in anthropomorphic global warming. It so happens that I don't. In fact, I'm growing a little concerned. I saw a tweet from Drudge Report this morning that South Dakota is experiencing the earliest snowfall on record. I tend to believe that chemtrails and other geoengineering efforts are reducing the temperature of the Earth probably a little too quickly. I think it was last week I had an article from InfoWars stating that the polar caps, the ice cap is actually much larger. I think it might have been 40% larger. And that is the kind of thing that, that's the beginning, or the early beginnings of an ice age. So I kind of wonder if all this scare about global warming is to get people to, intentionally get people to produce less CO2 in order to trigger a new ice age. So, CO2 is good. A lot of things grow well in greenhouses. And the polar bears are not dying, so no need to worry there. There needs to be a balance, and most of all, I believe our passion for the environment is very much misdirected and misappropriated when we have this concern for CO2. I'm concerned about the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm concerned about the nuclear spill in Fukushima. I'm concerned about sea life dying off in the Pacific. I'm concerned about sea creatures washing up dead on shore, and many other ecological catastrophes. I'm concerned about sewage leaking out of old tiles into groundwater. And there are so many environmental concerns that really demand to be addressed that I think are a much higher priority than CO2. So that's my little tirade for the day. Focusing a little more on the actual date, September 11th. Of course, we are all remembering what happened in New York City on September 11th in 2001, but the Benghazi catastrophe happened on September 11th, 2012. And this is more recent history. I'm glad there's a focus on this. I believe that what happened in 2001 reflects on the Bush family, and of course what was referred to as by Benjamin Fulford as the Zionists, the Nazi Zionists. This focus of Benghazi is really on the current administration, and certainly the truth about it can be used to justify impeachments and a lot of reform in the U.S. government. So I hadn't pointed out yet, I might have mentioned it, that Fox had this 13 hours in Benghazi, which is the story of what happened. And all Americans would do well to learn about this, understand this, and demand justice pertaining to this. Of course, Obama gave his speech last night, threatening war in a lot of different places, and he stated that the U.S. is going to get involved in Syria. Didn't we already process that? Didn't we already say no? Well, yes, we did. But he's still picking at that scab. And this morning, Don pointed this out to me from BBC News Middle East. Russia warns U.S. against strikes on Islamic State in Syria. So Russia's passionate about this. They do not want the U.S. involved in Syria. And I think Americans, as the sleeping giant, need to be awakened. But I don't want to awaken the wrath of the Russian bear. And I'm hoping that the good people in the Pentagon, the cooler heads, will once again refuse to send troops to Syria, because this is poking at the bear's face to get involved in Syria. We can't do it. Very bad idea. For the good news of the day, I just want to state that nothing has blown up, and that is very good news. This is a website called EarthCam.com, and I did a search for Times Square, and that returned 260 results. And there are no explosions, no horrors, no bombs, no mass death to be seen in any of these EarthCam live shots. So that is good news. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.